thank you for coming. So, this is a great crowd. I'm really excited. Kind of went around and talked to a couple of you guys, and I'm really excited about these events. I'm really excited to introduce Tom. Just so people who I guess don't know me, my name is Anthony, and I do a lot of work with Johnny. So when he left to go travel, I just wanted to keep this group going because I've been coming for the last like 3 months. And like I really like these groups regardless of the topic. Like I learned something, and if not from the speaker, also like communicating with you guys, I think that's really cool. So I enjoy that. So I want to keep it going, and I want to introduce Tom. So he's going to talk about some sales funnels and just some easy marketing strategies to help you guys grow your business. And it's not specific to, I guess, guitar lessons, right? Because I know that's like your passion, which is pretty cool. Does anyone play a musical instrument? Nice. Harmonicas don't count. Just no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that, and I'm glad you guys come. Thank you, and I'm just going to introduce Tom, and he'll take it away. So thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Raucous round of applause there. That was great. Thank you. Yes, there it is. So I've made some slides that are online. So if you want to follow along on your phone, you can like just follow the slides along as I go. That might be nice. So if you just go to my name, tomsearsmusic.com. /Nomad slides with a hyphen between Nomad and slides, you'll be able to follow along. Okay, good stuff.
Put a link in the group.
There is a link in the group as well. Good stuff. Well noticed. Okay, so I'm just going to give you like an introduction, a little bit of like brief history of me and what kind of led me to this stuff. Basically, I spent my 20s in a band, which translates to I spent my 20s really fucking broke. Okay, from day one. And I always kind of taught guitar just to like make ends meet and stuff like that. And then sort of hit a brick wall and was like, if I have to teach this guitar lesson again to this sniveling little kid, I'm going to shoot myself in the face. Read the 4-hour work week, thought, hang about, I can stick this online, I can make a video and only ever have to teach this lesson once. And that's kind of like my whole intro to the whole thing. You have a question?
How old are you?
34. Very good. Okay, excellent. So the name of my talk is Funnel Blueprints, How 7 Copy and Paste Emails Revolutionized My Online Guitar Business. Is that snappy enough for you? I hope so. All right, good stuff. So basically, I'm going to give you a rundown of like the funnel and like the engine of what makes the whole business work. And then I'm going to give you like some email templates that you can literally just download, fill in the blanks, and just like use, which is really good. So what does this funnel do? Basically, it allows those who are ready to just buy immediately. They're my favorite type of customers. You just show them something and they give you money. That's great. It also nurtures those who aren't ready to buy and turns them into customers a little bit later, which is great. And it kind of provides like the whole framework for the entire business as you grow and do more products and all that kind of stuff. So like this funnel will work with like everything really. Like if you've got info products, coaching, training, whatever it is, like this will work for it. And the good thing about it is like a lot of people will say you need to start a business that's like a desperate need. And it's like, if I can make this a success from guitar lessons, which let's face it, isn't like a desperate need, it's like a hobby thing. Then, you know, if you do have something that's a bit more desperate, like weight loss or something like that, then, you know, it's gonna work for you basically. So before I crack on with that, I just want to give you some like nuggets of wisdom of like what not to do. This is the stuff like I wasted a shit ton of time in doing when I first started, and I wish somebody had told me not to do this back then. So here it is. First one is don't worry about dicks, right? So what that means is you're always thank you for the laugh. You're always going to get dicks basically, and what that means is when you run traffic to an offer, some people are just going to be offended that you have something for sale, right? And they'll hate you for it and they'll call you the worst names you've ever heard in your life. I get that on a daily basis, right? Don't worry about it. They're just a waste of time. Delete the emails, ignore them, and that's all good. So if there's something in the back of your mind about, oh God, I don't want to get any nasty emails, like you will. So you just have to kind of like get over that and just get on with it really. So don't worry about dicks. Number 2, unless you have a penis related business, in which case you would have to worry about dicks. Next up is don't sell a cure-all. Now what I mean by that is don't make a product that answers everything in one go. So a good example for that is when I first started my first guitar course I made, I basically build it as the only guitar course you will ever need, right? The problem with that is you can then not follow up with any more products because you've already told them that's the only one they're ever going to need. So when you try and offer them product number 2, they're going, well, what's wrong with that one kind of thing. And then there's all sorts of disconnects going on. So what you want to do is make your products like solve little subsets of problems within a bigger topic. So for me with guitar lessons, it could be things like how to play faster, how to play chords, how to play lead guitar, all those kinds of things. And then you can offer more products down the line, which is really, really important. Number 3 is don't get shiny object syndrome. Like when I discovered online marketing and all that kind of stuff, I got so excited. I tried to start 10 businesses all at once, and it's just like spreading yourself too thin and just a complete and total pain in the ass. And I did that for maybe 3 or 4 years before I just knuckled down and was like, okay, I'm just going to do one and do that really well. And that's where everything that was like the turning point of where everything kind of started to work for me, which is good. So just choose one thing and just do that one thing. Next up is don't choose a tiny niche. A lot of people, a few years back, it was like fashionable to say, make some course on something that's got like a real cult audience, so then you can be like the big daddy of that niche in that world and everybody will love you for it. And there is like some truth to that. You could do that, but by the same token, once you've like fulfilled that, there's nowhere for you to go because there's so few people to kind of like buy anything from you. It's like if you're making, I don't know, like weird cheeses or something that somebody's into, and then you've fulfilled that need, where else do you go from that? You've got to start a whole business from fresh to kind of like expand any. So don't do that. Choose like a big niche like health, weight loss, music, whatever it is, or business, and if you just get a tiny nugget of that overall market, then you're onto a winner and you can expand as much as you want. So that's good. So, and then last one for what not to do, the next one rather, I've got one, is don't assume people know more than they do. Like one thing that consistently blows me away is some people don't even know how to navigate a login form, and they'll email me all angry that they don't even know what to do with this username and password, even though there's instructions in the email I'd like to have in big red letters. But so everything you write, you want to like cater it to somebody who just doesn't know anything, like real basic level language. Try not to overcomplicate anything, and you should be onto a winner. Next thing is don't worry about competition. Like that's a big thing. Like if there is competition in your world, that's actually a good thing because there's money to be made. So for example, like you could say, if you wanted to make laptops, you could say, well, Apple are really good at that, there's no point in me doing it. But then you've got PCs, which are like to a completely different market within that world. So what you need to do, what you need to do is like just find your little world in that world. So it's kind of like find a company that you like and is huge, and just do something a bit different to what they're doing, attack it from a different angle, or just do something a little bit better than they do and fulfill a need that perhaps they don't. So competition is good. Now, if you're running like paid traffic and stuff, and you get a winner and you have like a day where you make $100 and you're like, yeah, I made $100, it's brilliant. Don't then go apeshit and go, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000 tomorrow, because a lot of people will say that to you. They'll say, okay, if you're spending $100 a day on ads and you're making $200, then spend $1,000 a day and you'll make $2,000. And it doesn't necessarily work like that. Okay, so it's like when you increase your spend, your like return on that spend doesn't automatically match that. A lot of the times the ad network will be finding new places to like put your ads out, and that quality, that traffic might not be as high quality or as good as that initial traffic. So you have to scale your ad spend slowly and steadily and make sure the return on your investment kind of follows that as you go. So don't just be like, oh, I'm spending $100 a day, I'm going to start spending $1,000, because you probably will have a bad time. And I must admit, I did that in April because I got too excited about a campaign, ramped up the spend, and it completely fell on its arse and just ruined everything. So, well, not everything, but just that campaign. Good stuff. And then this is my last what not to do, is don't reinvent the wheel, okay? So you don't need to come out with any like crazy new invention or anything like that. The best thing to do is look at what's already out there and just do something a little bit better than that. So perfect example for me with guitar lessons, when I decided I was going to do this, signed up for a lot of memberships and stuff like that, saw what people were doing, and like most of them, like really big sites, were just like really, there was just a lot of filler and crap in there. So it would be like I'd watch this video and it would be some guy talking about which guitar pick to use for an hour, which you don't need to spend more than 30 seconds on, you know? So my whole kind of ethos was, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to make sure all my videos are like super concise and manageable and like bite-sized, and people can get like actionable stuff from it straight away rather than having to sit there for an hour listening to somebody just harping on about something that doesn't really even matter. So even something like that, you can find your own little niche, just see what other companies are doing that are successful and just do like something different or like improve upon something that they do. So that's always good. Golden rules before we get started is always upsell. So the more products you have, the more sales you make, the more money you make. It's as simple as that. So every time you release a course or some sort of product, always have in mind what you can upsell from that, okay? So complementary stuff that can expand upon those things. Next up is keep a swipe file of sales letters. So by sales letter, you probably know what I mean by that, where, you know, these long form pages where you've got a headline at the top, you know, learn how to be an acrobat in 3 days or less, that kind of stuff, and then loads of text and then the buy button at the bottom. Every time you see one of those, save it, right? Because that becomes your template for your stuff, right? So the key thing with that is if you use like Evernote, for example, you can just literally save that without even thinking about it and keep like a swipe file. Because I'll go a little bit more into this in a bit, but like essentially any sales letter is like it's hitting some psychological triggers that are going to make people want to buy. So you can literally take any sales letter, read it, and just like rewrite it in your own words, essentially, for your product, for your stuff. And they are pretty universal. Like the sales triggers are the same thing across the board. So no matter what you're selling, you can do that. So make sure you keep a swipe file because that's really important. Next up is to know your market. Now, basically every niche is basically sort of responds to different things, different prices, different offers, different language, and you need to know what your market is and what they like to hear about. So like for example, if you are selling like Harley Davidson motorbikes, you're probably going to have like some dude in leather with a pair of sunglasses on with a woman in a bikini draped across him. That works for motorbikes. If you're selling like family 5-door saloon cars, you're probably not going to go down that route because, you know, your local mum and dad probably aren't going to respond to that sort of marketing. So like look at what's already being on offer in your world and like see how they present things, look at what language they use, what sort of images they use, and kind of like model yourself on that a little bit. And then final golden rule is always provide value. So when you have a mailing list, which is a key part of this, you want to make sure you mix in offers where you're actually asking for the sale with like good content. So if you just hammer your list with offers, sooner or later they're going to burn out. So you need to mix it up with, hey, learn how to do this, and it's just like a no strings attached good piece of content that they're going to like you for, and you just like 50-50 kind of give them some offers, give them some good content, and then you'll have a good relationship with your list. Okay, any questions so far? Is everybody all right? I think that's good. All right, cool. The silence says everything. All right, cool. So step one of the whole funnel process is your offers, okay? Now, there's going to be like 4 offers that you're going to need to really like make a success of this, really. So the first offer is starting with free, which is basically like an email squeeze page that where you're offering something. A squeeze page is basically an email sign-up form. They type in their email, they get something in return for that, which is like, you know, a useful thing that solves something super specific. So like if you're a dog owner, for example, it might be something like, you know, how to make your dog stop barking or something like that. Little PDF ebook, how to make your dog stop barking, and give it a monetary value as well. So it's like, this usually costs $10 for a limited time, get it for free, pop in your email address and get it. So that's like offer number 1, that's really important. Offer number 2 is like a low dollar offer. Sometimes you might have heard it referred to as a tripwire, which is usually somewhere between like $7 to $20, like a low ticket item, which kind of like complements what they got on the squeeze page. So for example, you might have something like, you know, how to make your dog stop shitting on the rug or something like that, right? That complements what you got on the squeeze page, but it's, you know, a bit better and bigger and all the rest of it, and you can actually charge a fee for it. You also need a medium dollar offer, usually $50 to $100, and that preferably again expands on the lower dollar offers. It's from that same world. It's like if somebody's going to buy the, you know, how to stop the dog pooping, you've got something else, another problem that they need to solve, so you offer them that product. And that's kind of harks back to what I was saying about having a series of products that all solve specific issues, so you can offer more things. Yes, and then you have a higher dollar offer, which is usually somewhere between $200 to $300, and that like solves a much bigger issue. It can be like a bundle of other products, things like that, that just has a higher monetary value. But what you must do is make sure what you're selling, like the monetary cost of that matches like what the value they're getting. Do you know what I mean? So if teaching your dog to come and sit and stay is worth like, you know, if you took it to a dog trainer and it was going to cost you $100 in dog training fees, like that needs to match, that offer needs to match that, or better it preferably. You can also do subscription offers, which is what I do, and that's like my favorite thing ever. So subscription offers as an upsell is also something you should consider. Now the way you present that is on the front page of your website. You need like your catalog of products that you're going to list at full price. So whatever you think those products are worth, list them there at full price. Then what you do is to your email address, people that come in via the squeeze page, is you offer those items for a limited time at a discount price. So that for me, like some people say don't sort of compete on price, but for like hobby stuff like me, that I'm doing guitar stuff, that really works well, works great for me. So that way you build up like a bit of scarcity. They can see on the front page of your website that this course costs $100, but today there's this offer on that I can just get it for 50. Like there's the value like established in their minds, and they can see it's a real offer and you're not just pulling numbers out of the air kind of thing. Yes, good stuff. So each of your offers needs a sales letter, so that's why you need your swipe file. Go around the internet, find sales letters, keep yourself a swipe file of ones that resonate with you, and kind of match those up for the prices as well. So like if you find a sales letter for a $7 product, use that as a template for your $7 product and so on, so it kind of matches, because some sales letters are really long. Go for it.
Just real quickly, so we don't have to go to copywriting school, spend thousands of dollars.
No. Every sales letter I've ever written, I've used another sales letter as a template. That might end me up in prison, I don't know, but I've got through several years. No, I'm only kidding. No, like obviously you don't just rip it off word for word, because that's, you know, somebody's obviously put a lot of work into that. But like what I mean by use it as a template is to like read between the lines of what each paragraph of that sales letter is doing. So for example, say it says something like 20,000 people have studied this course over the years, right? That's a social proof thing, okay? That's giving you, as the reader, to say, like, a lot of people have gone through this and they all loved it. So you come up with your own version of what that is. What's social proof to you? You could throw in a couple of testimonials or something, do you know what I mean? If they're talking about, in one particular paragraph, they're using scarcity and saying, this is only going to be available for the next 7 days, well, what's your version of that scarcity? Is it only available for 3 days? Is the price going to go up tomorrow or something like that? Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. Okay, wicked. So the best, like if you read copywriting books, actually, they'll all say keep a swipe file and like study what they do. So it's the same thing. Good stuff. Yes, you can also make a video sales letter. These work pretty well for me, which is essentially just you reading the sales letter out on video, and the actual visuals is just like the words of what you're saying. So in a sense, like subtitles. And that tends to pretty much, for me, outperform text most of the time. With that said, if you're advertising on mobile, that tends to be the opposite, because people don't tend to sit and watch videos on the mobile in that way. It's better to use text on mobile, for me anyway. So there's that, good stuff. So then, the flow of your offers, this is how it kind of runs, and this is the stuff that you want to really pay attention to. So the offer flow is this. You post an ad somewhere, whether it's Facebook, AdWords, whatever it is, which leads to that squeeze page where you have your offer, you know, how to stop your dog from barking, right? People sign up for that offer. They then join your mailing list by doing that. Immediately they've pressed that submit button, they will get, if you can delay it, you delay it by like 10 minutes. They will get an email to fulfill the promise you've made them. So they'll get an email to say, hey, download this guide, here it is, thank you for signing up, blah, blah, blah. What happens to them is, as soon as they press the submit button, they get forwarded onto a sales page for your low ticket offer, so for your $7 item. At the top, you say something along the lines of, hey, thanks for signing up for the free guide. That's gonna wind up in your email inbox in about 10 minutes. Sorry for the delay. While you're waiting, check out this offer below. So it's like you've acknowledged that they've done what they've done. They've given you their email address. You've acknowledged that, and then you prompt them to check out the actual offer you're going to give them. So the people that take the low dollar offer, immediately they've put in their credit card details, or they've PayPal'd, or whatever they've done. They get forwarded to another offer page, which is your medium dollar offer. Okay, so again, you upsell them essentially. People who take that, you would then immediately put them on the next page, which is the high dollar offer, and you upsell them again. Okay, you could, if you wanted to, just keep going on and on and on, but you will piss people off after a while. So a good rule of thumb is to stick with 3. Like your opening paid offer, then one upsell, then another upsell. So like 3 offers in total. You don't really get too many complaints over that. For me, I don't do a high dollar offer because it's like a hobby thing. You know, I can't charge $500 for guitar lessons, so I do like a $1 trial for my subscription website, and it's like, hey, get a bunch of extra lessons for like $1, and then in 30 days it'll be $20 a month, and that works for me. So you can do things like that too. Yes, okay, so after that, that's where the email follow-up sequence kicks in. Like I said, I've made templates for everybody, so you can just literally copy these 7 emails, fill in the blanks to match whatever it is you're selling and using. So after that initial blast of offers, that picks up those people who, like I said at the beginning, those ones who are just like ready to buy something. They're like bang into guitar lessons, they're excited to get started. Here's this offer that's going to solve a problem. Bang, I'm going to give you some money. Great. So that takes care of those people. Now, most people are going to be those who are a bit skeptical. They're like, oh, I don't know, I don't trust this guy, I've never seen this website before, feeling a bit skeptical. So what you do is you gradually convince them over the course of a week. And the way you do that is you send them goodwill content. Right, so I'll make like 3 to 4 pieces of usable, easily actionable content, and these videos are like 3, 4, 5 minutes long. And the goal is, what the reaction you want from the people on your mailing list is like, damn, that was pretty easy. I didn't realize it was that easy to do that. Do you know what I mean? You want to like impress them, shock them a little bit, that like, shit, that was really good. And then that's how you start that process. So 3 or 4 pieces of content like that. It's all short, it's all like easily digestible, nothing too complicated. You do not want to blind people with like, hey, have this 200-page ebook or something at this stage. That's just, you're going to turn people off like that. Easy, actionable stuff. So you're in a sense proving that you know what you're talking about. So they're more susceptible to like, receptive rather, to buy something a little bit later on down the line. So that's like the kind of the big picture of the launch. But the first step on the ladder with that is you want to have like a weekly email that's just content, like good content. Like any Tim Ferriss people in the room? Like Tim Ferriss fans? I imagine probably everybody, aren't they? Yeah. He does the 5 Bullet Friday thing. So it's like, you know, hey, here's a few cool things that I enjoy. And he emails that out every Friday. People come to expect it. It's just a fun little thing. And it reminds people that he exists. For me, it's called Music Monday. I send out like a little 3, 4, 5 minute video that's just all content, useful, and there it is, right? Now what you do is you make sure that goes out on the same day every week. So say somebody signs up for my free guide, like last January or something, and they go through this little launch sequence I'm going to explain to you in a second, which lasts roughly a week. What happens after that, right? You don't want to just not send them anything. So by sending out one thing a week that's just free and just useful and good content, by doing that once a week, it's like a reminder to keep your name in their mind for when it's time to buy something else. So like if you were to wait a year before you emailed them again, which you never would, but if you did, they would still, your name in their inbox would be recognizable and all that kind of stuff. So that's like step 1. Now what you can do with that as well is you can present like a sort of a low pressure offer to go with that, right? So it's like you could literally just put in the PS line of the email, hey, if you enjoyed this email, you can check out this offer here. And it's just like super low pressure. It's not the focus, but it's just picks up those people who are like super into it and just want to buy everything that you put out. So you can do that. Sometimes you could put like a sales letter, which I do for my beginner stuff, underneath the freebie content. And at the end of the video, I've like taught them how to play a song. And then at the end I say, hey, check out below this video for an offer like you might be interested in. Super low pressure, and it's like upselling into a course basically. Or you can just put like a link to a sales letter to another product underneath the video. But the key thing is like, you never want to make those emails high pressure. It's got to be all about like, here's some great content you'll really enjoy. So for my beginners, it's all like, here's how to play like Sweet Child of Mine on a guitar, or here's how to play Brown Eyed Girl or something like that, to get them excited. And then, hey, here's a low pressure offer to go with it. Okay, so that stuff I talked about just now about like the 3 or 4 useful pieces of content, that's where like the magic really happens. That's where like, that is like marketing in a sense, because you're taking somebody who's initially skeptical, and over time you're convincing them that what you're doing is good and they should get on board with it. So you want 4 pieces of useful content, can get away with 3. Again, super easy to sort of digest, really easy, manageable stuff that's going to give them that wow result of like, shit, that was really easy, I'm glad I did that, you know. And then basically what you want to do is drip feed that over the course of a week. And then what you do is you hit them for the sale after that point. So you've hit them 4 times, and all you've done is give them great stuff all along the way. They've opted in for your free guide, whatever that is. They've consumed that and gone, oh, that was really useful, thank you very much. Like for me, my free guide is like a chord Bible. It's like every guitar chord you'll ever need. There it is. Okay, that's useful to anybody. They opt in for that. They get all this free content through the email. And if they've ignored that initial burst of offers, all I've done is just given them good, usable stuff. And then when it's time to hit them for an offer, they're so much more like open to buying from me now because they've seen all that material, they've seen all that stuff. Yes, so what you're going to do is copy these 7 emails. Now I've got a link which, if you download the slides, you'll see the link at the end, but you can literally download these 7 emails and kind of just fill in the blanks and away you go. So I encourage you to do that. Again, same website, it's just tomsearsmusic.com/nomad emails with a dash in the middle, a hyphen, if you want to be proper. Yes, so the 7 emails go as follows. The first 4 are just goodwill content, free value up front, it's great stuff, okay? Basically, all that is, you don't have to be a copywriter at all for that. You just literally say, hey, I made this video for you, go and check it out. And you put a little thumbnail picture of the video that hopefully looks enticing in the email itself. That gets you extra clicks. And that's it. Hey, hope you enjoy it. Bosh, you're done. Now, you do that 4 times, but gradually throughout the process, with the first one, with Goodwill Email 1, that's all you do. Great content, nothing else. With Goodwill Email 2, 3, and 4, gradually you start to talk about this upcoming product that they're really going to love. So for me, what I do is I have like a limited time 50% off sale for my flagship course, right? So in email 2, I'll be like, hey, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. Today I'm going to teach you how to learn much faster on the guitar. By the way, at the end of the week, I'm going to run a sale on this course that's going to teach you how to play amazing guitar solos. So look out for that if you're interested. Like nothing more than that, just like a real casual kind of mention. Okay, you don't want to get high pressure at this point. And then at the end of the video that they consume that day, I pretty much do the same thing. So I mention it in the email and again at the end of the video that something's coming. With the third Goodwill content video, I'll do much the same again, but I'll expand on it a little bit. I'll talk about some of the benefits that I'll get from you know, studying the course. What's in it for them? Why would they want to study this course? And again, hey, it's going on sale in a couple of days. So don't buy it at full price on the front page of the website. Wait for the sale to happen, and they appreciate that. Content email 4, that's when you ramp it up a little bit. You go into more detail about what's in the course. Again, you do a little bit of that in the email and a little bit of that at the end of the actual piece of content and the actual video. And then obviously you want to tell them when the sale's coming. So by email 4, you'll say, hey, the gates are going to open on this tomorrow at 9 a.m. whenever you kind of send out that email. Make sure you stick around and check that out, because if you've enjoyed these videos this week, you're really going to love this stuff, okay? So that's why the content you send out has to be good. It has to have that instant wow factor, because if it doesn't, they're going to be like, well, oh, maybe the course will be all right. But if you wow them with that content, they'll be like, damn, this free stuff was amazing, so the paid stuff must be even better. So there you go. But then obviously it's on you to make sure the paid stuff is actually even better. Good stuff. Any questions so far? Is everybody all right? Very quiet room. Yeah, all right. So step 3 is running traffic. Now, this is probably the biggest challenge you'll face. Like making videos, writing sales letters, creating products is pretty easy, right? It's the paid traffic that's probably going to be the biggest mountain you gotta kind of cross. Because A, it's boring. Like sitting there looking at stats and numbers and figures, unless you've got a head for that, which I definitely don't. Like it's boring and you hate it and it's like, ugh. But ultimately it's the source of everything. That's where you're going to get your eyeballs, is paid traffic. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the process of making a paid traffic kind of campaign work, but really to give you any sort of like actionable stuff, that's like a whole nother day completely. Like that's a whole separate ball game. So I'm not going to go into depth about it, but I'll just give you an idea of what to expect. So if you're running traffic, you always want to start small with like $10, $20 per day in your ad spend, or whatever it is you can afford to lose. If you've got a lot of cash burn and a hole in your pocket, you can spend more, because ultimately the more you spend, the quicker you'll be able to get the result you need to kind of like get into profit. And I'll explain more about that in a second. But like if you're, you know, breadlining it a bit, like $10 a day, that's a great start, okay? Now, you nearly always lose money to begin with, okay? That's a given. Like, I can think of one occasion, maybe two, where I've thrown up an ad campaign and it's gone straight into profit. Every other time I've like lost a little bit of money, sometimes I've lost a lot of money, and all that kind of stuff. So it's you have to be careful. But losing money to begin with is not something to be like scared of unless you're spending more than you can afford to lose. But what that means is you're kind of essentially buying data, right? So what that means is you're going to throw up a load of ads and you're going to see what works and what doesn't work, more importantly. So what that means is, like, if I'm going to throw up 10 ads and I'm going to use the Google Display Network and I'm advertising on all sorts of different websites, some of those ads are going to not really respond well. Some of those placements, those websites aren't going to respond well. They might start advertising me. Google's notorious for this. Like, you'll put in your keywords for guitar stuff and you'll end up being advertised on, like, I don't know, something outrageous that's just not related to guitar at all, and you're wasting loads of money on those clicks. So that's like part of the process. You throw those up and then you keep an eye on it, like eagle eyes, to see like what's working and what's not working. So essentially what you do, say you run some ads for a month and you've spent $1,000 on ads and you've not made that back. Say you've literally made like a few sales and you've made maybe $200-300 back from that $1,000 ad spend. What you then do is you go back over the course of that month and you look at all the ads that work well, all the conversion data of like, oh, that ad did really well, that one sucked. That website placement worked really well, that one sucked. You chop out all the ones that sucked, and then suddenly you're left with all the ads that were really good. So then in month 2, hopefully you've got a much better chance to make the rest of that $1,000 you originally invested back and then get into profit. So it's one of those things, like, you can't really predict that until you do it. That's the tough thing. You can't say, well, you know, within a week I'm going to know exactly what's going on, because you just don't know how anything's going to respond until you spend that money. So don't think of it as losing money up front, even though that is what you're doing. Think of it as you're buying the data you need to make an intelligent, informed decision on what you have to do to make that campaign profitable. Does that make sense, or did that just like kill you, everybody? All right, cool, good stuff. Relating back to that thing of people saying, you know, ramp up your ad spend by 10 times as soon as it's a success. Don't ever do that. The reason being for that is there are always good days and bad days, no matter what happens. Like, a lot of people say, oh, my product converts at 10%. And you're like, oh, that's really good. But that doesn't mean it converts at 10% every day. That probably means it's averaged out over the course of a month that it works out to 10%. Some people, like some days, Monday, you might wake up and, damn it, I've made $500. That's amazing. And then there's the temptation to be like, right, I'm going to spend more money because I'm going to make more. Don't do that, because Tuesday you might make nothing. You might make $100. You might lose money on Tuesday. Wednesday might be somewhere between the two. Thursday might be way better again. And you just, like, that's the natural like ebb and flow of the internet. So it's all about like averaging that stuff out over time before you make your decision. And that's why you don't like make any snap decisions. You let it run for a few weeks, preferably a month, something like that. And then you look at the data, and that's when you make a decision. And it's like, you just essentially have to have balls of steel, because if you're losing money and money's a bit tight, that you're like, damn it, I'm losing money. But like, hopefully if you've studied your PPC stuff and you know what you're doing, you can turn that around, make all that money back, and then you're into profit, and then it's free money time, which is always good. Yes, so good ways to look at it are keep an eye on it day by day, see how each ad campaign's performing. Look at it across the week, see how it's performing. Like some days, like even this week for me, one of my best ad campaigns had a couple of really bad days. And I was like, damn, why is, like, I hope that's not just dried up all of a sudden. But then by the end of the week, it had gone straight back to how it usually does, and it was fine. It's like, there is always that natural ebb and flow. And any like AdWords course or Facebook ad, any kind of advertising course, they'll like sell you on this angle of like, you know, well, once you have your funnel set up and you make money, you can just, you know, it's unlimited money at the end of the day. And it's like, that's the long-term goal, but it takes time to get there, and it's very careful, and you have to be very slow and methodical with how you increase your spend. Otherwise, it's a disaster. So do look out for that. So yeah, day by day, then by the week, then by the month. Sometimes you have a bad week on a campaign, and then by the end of the month, it's actually sorted itself out again. And then over 90 days, if everything's good by 90 days, you know you've got a pretty good winning campaign. So good stuff. So in terms of like where to run your ads, for people that have never done this stuff before, Facebook is probably your best bet. I don't actually do any Facebook ads at the moment. I will be in the future though, but that's like the most user-friendly, probably the easiest to get like a positive return on your ad spend. There's AdWords search, which is the most like targeted because people are actively searching what you do. So it's like guitar lessons, bang, there's an ad for me. That's super targeted. That's probably as targeted as you could possibly get. But the trade-off is the clicks are super expensive. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And then AdWords Display Network, which is my little favorite, is banner ads and text ads on other websites. So I could put in like some keywords, for example, that, hold on a minute, I've just ruined everything. There it is. I put in some keywords, they're all guitar related. So the AdWords engine will go out, find all sorts of websites with those keywords on and show my ads on them, and various different like targeting kind of methods that you can do with AdWords. Now the reason that's my favorite is the traffic's cheap, but also there's the most clicks to be had. So like, I won't say every website because that's not true, but like a huge amount of websites, if you think how many pages there are out there, have AdSense on them, which is the AdWords ads, right? So there's just like maximum volume there. If you're doing Google search, there might only be 100,000 people a month searching for guitar lessons, which is a big number. Like that's cool. I'd like to have all of those, please. Yes, but like depending on your keywords, like there's going to be an end to those searches where there's almost like an almost unlimited amount of websites out there that you could just put your ads on and like show your ads. So like for me, if there's one ad network that I would like master, it would be that one. And that was my promise to myself. It's like until I'm literally buying every profitable click I can on the content network, I'm not going to bother with anything else until I hit that point. Good stuff. Okay, now one of the important things is like make sure you spend as much time as you can studying your chosen pay-per-click platform. Like that is so important. Like if you're going to do AdWords Display Network, like become an expert in that. If you're going to do Facebook ads, become an expert in that so you know it inside and out. Because ultimately, like that controls everything. So if you're really good at that and you can get cheaper clicks, you can get really responsive ads, and then obviously that ties in with all your marketing stuff as well with the emails, like that's you done, and that's great. That's perfect. If you're sort of like half-arsing it and you're like, oh, I've got these ads, I'm not sure if they're performing well or whatever, then that's not good. That's not like a good foundation for your business. And of course, like there are times where you'll hear about the Google slap, for example, a few years ago, where Google just cancelled loads of AdWords accounts because people were like promoting weird spammy stuff, and loads of people lost their accounts. So it is good, obviously, in case Google someday just decide to shut you down, to diversify and have different things. But like for me, I've been doing this for years now, and I still haven't learned everything about the Google Display Network, and I'm still studying it, I'm still working on it. So like, just do that one thing, master that one network, and then move on and master something else as well. But like, again, it's like not spreading yourself too thin. Don't do too much at once. Just do like that one thing, get some profit happening, and then, you know, move on to something else if you want to. Yes, you do need balls of steel. I've skipped ahead. Cool. Now, something that's really, really important is breaking even. Like that is actually a massive success, okay? A lot of people will be disappointed with that. They've run some ads, they made some sales, they've made their ad money back, but they've not made any profit. They've just like paid for those ads. That's actually amazing. If you hit that point, game on, brilliant. Let's have that all day long. Because what you have is you've now got an audience of customers. You've now got a mailing list of people that still might be skeptical. They still maybe haven't bought anything from me, but maybe it's just not the right offer for them, and you can come up with something later for those people. You now have that audience. So how do you get into profit? You make one more product, you promote it to those people, and bang, that's 100% profit. There's no ad cost anymore. So that's why you need more than one product. That's why you need as many products as you could possibly make, to be honest. But like, that's cool. If you break even, like keep that running. Just keep that going, because that's a great place to be. So that alone, at that point, having a squeeze page with a free offer, 3 more offers, 7 emails, and some sales letters for your products, is enough for you to have a successful business. Like, you can do that and just like send these emails that, you know, I'm going to give you the templates for, and that's enough. That's great. Like, so just make sure you do that. That's great. That's like the first kind of point where you can say you've legitimately got a good business that's got a decent foundation and all that kind of stuff. The good thing about that is you can then just repeat the whole process again for more products, and that's precisely what I do. I'll bring up a new product, I'll rewrite the 7 emails to match that product, I'll come up with some useful content, and then I'll send the 7 emails again for this product number 2 over here, and then I'll just do that, and then I'll do it again and again and again. So it really is like the engine of everything. Like, everything you sell online can be sold with these 7 emails, and you can make a success of it. So that's why it's so important. Any questions so far? Someone asked me a question. I feel left out. Go on. Go on, go for it.
Do you have much technical help?
No. I don't like, I'll explain some tools that I use at the end. I do have a dude that makes pretty much all my content for me now. He'll like make courses for me and makes videos for my membership area and all that kind of stuff. He delivers that, and he's amazing at it. But in terms of like building these web pages and stuff, I don't know how to code anything, right? So I'll show you some tools at the end where you can easily build the web pages and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to be that clever. Like, I got a D in maths at school. I retook maths and got another D. So like, if I can do it, like, I'm never getting above D grades. Do you know what I mean? So nice, cool. So like, that is like the first thing. That's like, once you hit that point, you can feel good about the fact that you've got a solid business, you've got like 3 products, you've got that foundation built in. That's good. So what do you do next? You optimize it and make it better. So step 4 is, I'm going to give you some stuff that you can do to like increase sales with that setup, things you can add and just grow your business basically. So first one is to offer multi-payment plans. So for example, for my $100 course, I also give them the option to pay like 3 months at $35, right? So that lowers the bar of entry a little bit. So again, they've only been on my list a week. They don't really know me yet. They've seen my useful content. That's great, but they're like, $100, man. I don't know. Is this going to be any good? So for those people, that lowers the bar a little bit and helps get them on board. So it's like, you know, I can pay $35 now. Okay, that's less of a risk, and bang, there you go. And when I look at my revenues each month, the revenues from those, because obviously they're going to skip over to the next month and the following month, the revenues from those actually match the upfront payment of $100. So it's like, if I make X amount with the one-off payments, I make that same amount again with the multi-payments each month as they kind of build up. So that's definitely something you should think about. The next thing, which for me is like essential, is like some sort of monthly subscription. So my monthly subscription is basically, they get like roughly 90 minutes of video a month, and it'll be like, okay, month number 2 is, this month's going to be Eric Clapton month, and you're going to learn all about Eric Clapton. The next one's going to be, you know, here's how to play like Slash from Guns N' Roses, for example, all those kinds of things. And again, it's like, it's one specific topic each month that they can get excited about. It's not like huge broad topics. It's like specificity is the word I'm trying to say, but it wouldn't come out. And yeah, so like when you have a subscription base like that, that's like so much weight off your shoulders, because you know you've got that guaranteed income every month. If your ad network suddenly shut you down and said, hey, we don't like you promoting these dildos, for example, right? We're not going to allow you to promote these. Sorry, I went there. Right? We're not going to allow you to do these anymore. If you had a monthly dildo subscription, like, you can rely on that for a while until you go to your new ad work and you get that working again. Good stuff. I'm making it dirty today, I'm sorry. Good stuff. Does that make sense? Good. All right, cool. Yes.
Okay, you mentioned the monthly subscription for...
It's not a question about dildos, right?
No.
Yeah, cool.
About 90 minutes per month.
Yeah.
So are you providing 90 minutes of fresh content every month?
Yeah, exactly that. So it's like every month they'll get a new study module. So like month number 1, say that's Eric Clapton, that's 90 minutes of Eric Clapton stuff. Month 2 will be some other guitar player, that's 90 minutes of that. So yeah.
And your content's all video lessons?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you doing all that yourself, or are you outsourcing?
No, the actual making of that content is, I mean, to be truthful, I've only made one course. Like, that's my core course. The first course I made, that's me. And then that's actually a lot of work to make all that content. So like, the thing for me is, so I can actually do all this stuff, is just to have somebody else deliver all these courses. And it's like the amount of time it would take to like plan the videos, shoot them, edit them, and all that kind of stuff would just like, that's a full-time job in itself. So it's like he takes care of all of that stuff, so I can do all the marketing and there it is. Yeah, cool. So you had a question?
How often do you email people?
There's no harm in emailing people every day, right? When I say that, you will piss people off, but you will piss people off anyway, even if you email once a week. So essentially, what I mean about mixing the content with the useful content with offers is that like if you're emailing somebody 4 days of the week where it's like, hey, check this technique out, like learn this, learn that, you're just giving them positive stuff. It's not like you're constantly asking for sales. If you were emailing every day of the week just giving them sales, like that's going to burn out the list. They're going to hate you for it, basically. It will work for a while, but they're going to burn out eventually. So as long as you're emailing them good stuff, don't worry about it, you know? As long as it's stuff that they'd want to learn, you're all good, really. Okay, does that answer your question? Cool.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts or experience about marketing to professional network groups on LinkedIn?
I don't have any experience with that. Everything I've done has been like hobby-based, really. But the same things would apply. The same kind of triggers would apply. So for you, I would say, like for me, it's like how to play this song, for example. For you, it's like, what's the problem for them? Just solve a problem. Like that's all your job is to solve as many problems as you possibly can. And if it's useful to them, they'll respond. So whatever that is in your world, like go with that, basically. Any other questions so far? Yeah.
Before you were talking about mastering each network.
Yeah.
But then other people would advise it to spend your time on what you're good at, or upload that to pro as soon as possible. So
Yeah.
just wondering, I know there's different schools of thought. I'm wondering.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I just drank your water, man. If I get any weird bumps on my lips, man, I'm gonna. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I've tried that, right? And in terms of like ads, I don't bother doing that. I've done it like 3 times, and every single time it's been a disaster. And I think the reason for that is those people, unless you find someone, say you're in the fitness niche, right? Unless you find a PPC expert who is like super experienced in that world and knows what kind of offers resonate with those people, then by all means give that a try. But nobody is gonna know your market as well as you are, or know your products as well as you are. So chances are you're going to be the guy that can come up with the ad that really like drills down and gets with those people. So what I would say is, like the problem is, like what my initial mistake with that was, is I didn't have a clue how to run an AdWords campaign, and I just hired some dude to do it. Dragged on for like the best part of a year, never really made any money. It was a disaster. But the only reason it was a disaster is because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know whether, is this working? I don't know. He'd send me a report every month and I'd be like, all right, well, he sent me a lot of clicks and like there's some sales in there, but I think I've lost money this month. And I didn't know what was happening. So if you become an expert in that thing, then by all means, you can like hire someone or train somebody up to do it for you. At this point, I still just do it myself, because I just like that to me is like one of the most important ingredients in the whole thing, is like getting people in that front door. So I'd rather like have full control over that. I haven't met anybody I'd really trust with that at this point. So
Just quickly, what email software do you use?
email software, I'm going to talk about that at the end, so I'll save that if that's cool. Cool, where are we now? Yes, okay, so 3 pay plans for higher ticket option courses, monthly subscriptions. Make a VIP list for all of your buyers and make it specific to the products you sell. So if you sell course A, follow up for the next 2-3 weeks with extra stuff for them, like bonuses. Like for me, it's like, hey, I've made you this chart that's going to help you with your scales. Check that out. Thank you for buying my course. A week later, I'll send them a bunch of backing tracks for them to jam to, things like that. So the idea is, they've seen your presentation, they've seen your free stuff, and they've gone, all right, yeah, this is cool. I'm going to buy this course. I wonder if it's going to be any good. They buy the course, they consume it, and they're like, actually, this was really good. I got a lot out of it. But then when you hit them again, you'd be like, hey, here's some extra stuff you didn't expect. They're like, damn, this guy's amazing. And they will love you for it. Like, they will really love you for it. So that's what you want to do with your buyers, because again, one of the key things is, one of the best ways to grow your business is to sell again to your existing customers. So if you've built that foundation, the first time they bought from you, you sent them a load of bonuses, you made the experience better than they expected, they're going to be like, well, I'm going to buy the next thing this dude puts out, and then your business grows. So bonuses for buyers, always good. Next up is a comments area under your freebie content. Now that's really, really powerful. So when you're sending out your 4 goodwill emails in the launch campaign, underneath that, at the end of the video, I might say, look out for this sale that's come up in a few days. Any questions, leave me a comment below. And if somebody comes in and you've just sent them to a page with a video on, and that's great, it's useful content, they enjoy it. But if they do that and they see the useful content and they enjoy it, but then there's 100, 200 comments below that video of people asking questions, and more importantly, you answering those questions, they're like, damn, this guy's really on it. Like, he really actually cares about his customers. There was a guy I was going to hire for some consulting, like literally 2 weeks ago, and I felt like he just didn't care. And that's why I was ready to make the purchase, and it was a reasonably expensive thing. And I'm on this call with him, and I'm like, I just don't get the feeling like this guy really gives a shit about what I'm doing. So I just backed out. I was like totally ready to make the purchase, and I was like, gut feelings telling me this isn't the guy for the job. So I was just like, actually, no, I'm going to give it a miss. So if you can do that electronically, where here's some great content, you're going to enjoy this, beneath all these questions of people saying, hey, what's happening with the course, or I don't understand this video, and you're taking the time to answer those people, like that's putting you in the best possible light and showing that you genuinely care about your customer. So comments areas are a good thing. Next thing to optimize is split testing. Now, people would tell you to split test everything, and to a degree that's like true, but you want to hire somebody to do that for you. You don't want to be sitting there making multiple pages every day, all day long, because that's just going to burn you out and you're not going to like get the results you need. So at this stage, you want to like split test the things that really matter, that's going to get the biggest bang for your buck. So things like the offer itself. Like if you come up with like 3 or 4 ideas for a $7 product, okay, make them all, split test them, and see which ones people respond to the most, and then go with that one. Split test prices, that's important for me. I had a course that was selling for $100. I split tested it for $50, and I sold nearly 3 times the amount at $50 than I did at 100. So like a lot of people will say you must sell high priced courses, and yeah, that's cool, but sometimes cheaper is the way to go. So that's definitely something to test as well. And of course, like big changes in the layout of your page you want to test as well. Like, don't worry about like the color of the button and things like that. A lot of people say, oh, well, a green button performs better than an orange button, and you're like, okay, well, that's great, but you really only see any results from that if you've got like 1 million clicks to your website a day, like Amazon does, or something like that. So don't worry about the small stuff. Like if you have a drastically different design for your landing page or something, then test that. But other than that, like stick to the actual offer itself and the price of what you're offering. And the other thing as well you can do to get better results is bonus stacking. So what that means is when you hit them with the big offer, like the 3 days of emails, in each of those emails, add in a bonus. So on the first, like the gates are open day, hey, come and get this, add into the email, oh, and by the way, if you buy today, you get this extra thing. And then in the next day, in the next email, you reiterate that bonus and you add in another one. And then on the third day, on the last day, you add in another one again. So it's like, if you think about it, you've got the scarcity factor coming in because the sale's going to end soon. So with every passing day, the scarcity's getting closer, so there's a lot of pressure there. And then also you've got this kind of thing, the bonuses are appearing, so the deal's getting sweeter. And what you also want to do, which I don't think I mentioned before actually, in the last email for the promotion, if you think about it like this, the email is going to say, hey, the sale ends at midnight tonight, this is really your last chance, don't want you to pay full price, get this now. When you get some testimonials in, which you will get, like people will, when you start selling stuff, people will send you in, say, hey, I bought this course and it was amazing, really enjoyed it. Paste those into the emails, to the final email. Say, hey, really enjoyed making this course and this sale. Loads of people have taken me up on it. Here's some feedback from some of the people that bought. You put that in the email, and it's like you're making that as irresistible as you possibly can. If you imagine the scarcity's coming in, I don't want to miss out. All these bonuses are stacking up. The deal's getting sweeter, and you get the social proof of all these people that are buying it and giving their feedback. It's like, that's a pretty irresistible offer. So that's how you can make that engine like function better at the same time. Go for it.
Do you find that people open your emails?
Yes. Top tip, make your subject lines really short. Hey, like I use that all the time, and I use it again and again. Hey man, open this. How you doing? Like literally just random crap like that you wouldn't think, like, and that does the job. Also, to like avoid being sent to junk mail and all that kind of stuff, some things you want to do is don't like, sometimes you're on a mailing list and you have like beautiful designs and logos of the company and all that kind of stuff. Don't do that, because that's super like promo-y, and chances are you'll end up in the junk folder. Just keep to a plain old text email like you'd write to a friend, and do all your promo in that, and just keep like any images to a minimum. The only images I ever put in are like a thumbnail of any videos that's clickable to the page that I'm trying to send them to. That should help you out. Cool. Okay.
Even if your brand is very visual,
What is it you're doing then?
I'm doing emails for a clothing company.
For a clothing company. So okay, so for that I would like the most I would push it, and this isn't something that I'm like saying it's better to do that. This is just like what I know. Like the more of that stuff you put in, the chances of you going into the junk mail are higher. So what I would do is, if you're talking about something specific, is the equivalent of me and my video thumbnail is a little picture of something, a piece of clothing or whatever it is that's clickable to the thing, you know. That's about as far as I would take that, really. Okay, so you've built your engine, you've got your kind of launch funnel going on, you've got your 3 products, you're sending an email out every week to just keep everybody sort of entertained and reminding them that you're there. What's the next step? And this is like the next phase. If that's phase 1, this is phase 2. And basically what that is the promo calendar. Now basically what the promo calendar is it's the same thing again. You're just going to repeat it for different products, okay? So golden rule is the more offers you have, the more sales you make, the more money you make, right? So once you hit that point, make another course, make another 2 or 3 courses, like build a product line of stuff that's complementary. Like if somebody's bought a course on how to play lead guitar solos, right? A good follow-up offer to me would be like, okay, for those of you who are struggling to like play the fast, like fast stuff, here's a course on how to make your fingers go faster. Like that's, again, it's like solving something specific. And I do the same thing again, 3 pieces of content, go through a launch funnel, send my 7 emails, rewritten to match that, bang, and there it is. So that's how you kind of expand beyond that initial thing, more products. So what happens is somebody signs up for your free thing, they go through that initial 7 email campaign, they pop out at the end and they all go in the bucket, right? Now, essentially what happens is everybody who's in the bucket gets a new promotion every single week. And by promotion, I mean another one of these 7 email campaigns. You front load it with 3 or 4 pieces of great content, so they love you for it. And then, hey, here's a little promotion for that, something that's related to the content I've just sent you. Here it is again. So it's like you're going between sending them great content that they're going to love to an offer, great content they're going to love to an offer, and you send that to your entire list every week. The only people who don't get that bucket offer are the people who are still in that initial launch phase. Okay, does that make sense? All right, cool. Yes, and that can be, if you're not at the point where you have a bunch of products, you can just do affiliate products, you know, getting a cut of somebody else's products and you promote it. It can be like flash sales for your existing product. You can just send out a couple of emails saying, hey, this is on offer at 80% off this week or something crazy, things like that. Cool. Good stuff. Okay, so that's like pretty much it. So I'm just going to like recap on the whole thing very briefly, and then I've got some other bits and bobs for you at the end as well. So to wrap up, like the thing that held me back for years was not just choosing the one thing and doing that one thing. Like that is so powerful. Like if you're the sort of person who's like, oh, I want to start like 3 or 4 businesses, great, but don't do that yet. Like choose one thing and use this to promote it, because this will work. Like I said, I trade in hobbies, like people who are like, yeah, I put my feet up on a Saturday afternoon and play some guitar. That's not like a desperate burning desire. So if I can make this a success with this system, doing that, then you can sell anything. Like you really can sell anything doing this. So just like go away, choose. If this sounds good to you, choose it and just do it. Because if you're ultimately, it comes down to solving a problem. If you're solving legitimate problems for an audience, like that's it. People will respond to it. People will buy your stuff, and this is like the best way that I've found to do it. Okay, so just to recap through the steps. In step 1, 3 products of varying prices, like a like a free offer, something you can give away. The crazy thing is, PDFs have a high perceived value. So if you've written a blog post about gardening or something, copy it into a PDF, slap a funky cover on it, and say, hey, you can download my new guide, Super Gardening, right? And that's your lead magnet. That's what they give their email address for to get on your mailing list. Okay, it's as simple as that. So you need a free offer. You need your 3 paid products. good prices to run through are like $7 for an opening offer, $47 for a middle range offer, and $97 for a higher offer. Sometimes you'll see 7 straight up to $97, which is what I do, up to $200, or like subscriptions, that kind of stuff. Step 2 is to send useful content out to your entire list once per week. Something they're going to love you for, something you're going to easily, actionably use. Remember, they need that "wow, I never thought that was so easy" kind of thing. That reaction to that content every Monday or whatever day you choose. Give it a catchy name. Tim Ferriss has 5 Bullet Friday. I have Music Monday. Like something that they can expect at the same time every week. And the good thing about that as well is like you can just take a few days out and like batch do that, right? Make 50 posts and drip feed them throughout the entire year with your email software, and then your job's done. Like if it takes you a week, that's your entire year sorted. And the beauty of that, a year is long enough that when they get to the end of that year, you just loop them back around to the beginning again. And by the time they've forgotten that first thing that you sent them last year, and you just send them through the same content again, and it does the same job without you having to do any more work. So that's nice. Cool. Step 3 is 3 to 4 pieces of killer content for your product launch. So really useful, like really try and use some of your best stuff with that. You want to blow people away with those 3 or 4 pieces of content. That's really important. Remember, in some of those pieces of content, you want to like give brief mentions of the upcoming sale or the upcoming product within that content and in those emails as well. I typically don't do that for the first one, simply because if they haven't bought, I know they're skeptical, so I want to hit them with like a nugget of goodness where I'm not asking for anything in return. Write your 7 emails, obviously, and make your sales letters for your products. Step 4, like that's, like I say, that is the foundation of everything. You can feel good once you've hit that point. Like that's enough to make a profitable business. Step 4 is optimizing things like making a VIP list for your buyers, making them feel even better about what they bought from you. Things like offering 3 pay options for higher ticket options. I'd always recommend doing that. Maybe sort of building in a subscription, things like that. Always remember, golden rule is the more offers you have, the more sales. Like don't try and build a business based on like one product, like especially if it's info marketing, like courses and learning stuff. Like that's like you could have some success with that, but that's just going to make it harder for yourself. Like the more products you have, the more sales you'll make, and the better off you'll be, basically. And then step 5, the kind of the final step is the promo calendar, which is again sending new offers out to the list every single week and bringing in more sales. Make more products, more offers, use affiliate products, send those out. You always want to be mailing that list, and like you say, you can literally email every day. That's not a problem. And like I said at the very beginning, don't worry about dicks, you will get them. Like they'll just be offended that you're selling anything, and it's like just ignore those people, get on with it, and you'll be fine. So that pretty much wraps it up. Just to give you some tools that I use to get the job done that you might want to investigate. For the website, when you said any technical experience, what were you worried about? What was the...
Oh, everything. I don't want anything.
Sweet. All right, cool. So for the website itself, I use something called Optimize Press 2, which is like a WordPress theme, which is super easy. It's like drag and drop. You can and it's built for like this style of marketing. So it'll have like templates for sales pages, templates for email squeeze pages, all sorts of stuff, and you can just drag it and drop it and edit it as you go. That's really great. So that's Optimize Press. For email marketing, follow on the end there. I use Infusionsoft, which is I wouldn't recommend you start there because A, it's pretty expensive, B, the learning curve is massive, and it'll probably just make you hate life. So I wouldn't start there. I would use something like ActiveCampaign, GetResponse, ConvertKit, or Drip. They're all like more user-friendly, lower priced kind of stuff that you'll have a better time with. Infusionsoft is great, but it's like you don't need to start with Infusionsoft. I'd graduate to that over time once you've got all this stuff in place. So that's the email marketing side of things. For the shopping cart and the actual delivery of the content, I use Digital Access Pass, which is great. For my ads, I pretty much exclusively use AdWords. For hosting all my videos, I use Vimeo, and for split testing, I use Visual Website Optimizer. So that's pretty much it.
Sorry,
go for it.
What was the name of delivering the content?
Delivering the content was Digital Access Pass. Like that's a good like all-in-one thing. Like you'll install that into your website, and it'll be a shopping cart. You could even use that as your email autoresponder as well. It'll make the members area, so it'll like lock pages off you don't want people to see, and make user accounts for people and email them with their username and password and all that kind of stuff. So it's really good. And they update it every month with new features, so I highly recommend those guys.
Thanks.
No worries. So just to probably finish up then, downloads. To download the slides, if you missed the link at the beginning, just go to tomsearsmusic.com/nomad slides with a hyphen. To download the 7 email templates, and you should all do that. Check those out because you can use those. tomsearsmusic.com/nomad emails, again with a dash in the middle. And if you want to hear some dirty blues that I made, go to tomsears.net. And there you go. Good stuff. All right, excellent. Any questions then? Let's open it up. Go for it.
How do you make sure people don't unsubscribe for your emails?
You
Send one every week?
Don't. How do you make sure they don't unsubscribe?
Yeah.
They will. And that's kind of fine, because if they're not interested, like they can be a massive fan of guitar for me, for example, and if they don't want to hear about courses, and a lot of people will just be like freebie seekers. They'll download your free guide and they'll never have any intention of spending any money. So if they unsubscribe, then so be it. Good riddance at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, what I would do is keep an eye on your numbers, and if loads of people are unsubscribing, chances are there might be an issue with some of the content you're sending them, that it's just not entertaining enough. Like it's you like that's something else, man. You want to entertain everybody on your list. Don't be like Mr. Dry, like I am up here, like doing this talk and be like, well, this is what you want to do, and then do that, and then do this. Like entertain, like make it fun to watch that stuff. Some of like the biggest marketers are like just cool people that you would want to hang out with anyway. So like that's something that's important. Any others? This guy.
You said that you had someone else making a course for you.
Yeah.
So when you are making a new course, how much of involvement do you have in making it, and how much autonomy do you give to the other guy?
I give him everything, because basically he's really good. Like he's somebody that was like, essentially I had like a little guitar school, like a physical guitar school, like years ago now, where it was just like a big room like this, and I was like selling like 10-week courses. People would show up and I'd teach them, and I had a couple of guys who were just working for me to like take a couple of days off, so they would take 2 days of teaching off my hands so I could have a couple of days off basically. I met him through that, and he's just so good at what he does. I'm like, dude, you can do it better than me, so just go for it, do whatever you want. And everything he delivers is like tip top. Obviously you need to find, like I'm lucky that I have that dude, so you need to find somebody that you trust basically. So this guy first, and then you're back. Go for it.
Have you used any YouTube marketing to either market or list build?
Yes, that for me, guitar lessons is big on YouTube, right? So a lot of people go there for free lessons. So I have dabbled with that. I'm not actually like, that's, when it comes to pay-per-click stuff, each little segment like that is like a different animal. So like, I'm really good at like banner ads and text ads at this point. And video ads is something I've dabbled with a little bit, but I'm just not, like, I need to really focus on that to really fine tune that and get amazing at it. But at this point, I'm focused on growing what I already have. So it's like, that's something that is on my to-do list for sure. And it is great, it really is great. But yeah, I haven't done too much of that at this point.
So would you say at this point you're spending more time on the online marketing as opposed to?
No, in terms of like pay-per-click traffic, I'm spending all my time on like optimizing my banner ad and text ad campaigns on the display network. That's like where I'm focusing my energies at the moment for pay-per-click.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
In general,
yeah.
you're spending more time on the online marketing
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah, absolutely, cool. Over back.
I might have been misunderstanding a little bit, but you guys said you did the first product yourself.
Yeah.
But the guy who does your videos now, those are separate products?
Yeah.
And do you cross-sell to the other lists? And if so, is there a continuity problem when people go?
Good question. Okay, so that's sort of like addressed in the way this works. So for me, okay, so here's what it is. So for me, my core product is how to play like lead guitar solos basically, and that's me on camera saying, hey, come and learn how to do this. That's great. The other dude, like just the way I present it, I'm almost like a host. I don't appear in any of his videos at all. But the way I present it, I'm like, hey, Dan's got this new course for you this week. He's going to teach you how to do this. So it's not like I'm not pretending to be the dude in the video or anything like that. But with the way these emails are like set up, it's like, okay, they come through, they get this initial batch of offers, and then like once they drop off of that into the bucket at the end of that, like everything I sell them, unless I run like a flash sale on my core course, is going to be Dan teaching. Yeah. So I just reference that in the emails, and people know what's up. And it's like they're in like with something like Infusionsoft, you tag people based on their actions. So I know like if somebody's in that campaign, I know they don't have that course. So it's like, okay, that's going to make sense to them rather than sending it to somebody who already has it, or they've seen some other stuff that's not going to make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that's where I was just confused.
Sure.
And also that answered about Infusionsoft and where that comes into play.
Reason I say don't start with Infusionsoft is I basically built up a load of these campaigns, like sort of just stuck them together. So they finished this one campaign, they went into the next one, and then the next one. For some unknown reason, everybody ended up on every campaign all at the same time. So it was like everybody's getting offers every day of the week, like 6 or 7 times a day, offering different courses at different prices. This sale ends tomorrow, this one starts today. It was just a nightmare, and I just wanted to cry. So like now I'm at the point where like I just hired somebody like just do that, like fix whatever I did. And like again, like learning Infusionsoft is like a big deal. So it's don't start there if you were thinking of. Anybody else? Yeah.
So this is all kind of individual courses of emails that you send out there. So one person submits this email and then starts this 7 emails for this person. You don't have kind of real email letters or like newsletters where you actually, if you make a new course, for instance, that you want to inform everybody, or if you want to say, oh, what happened in France today was terrible, or something, you know?
Yeah, no, you can absolutely do that. Like, the way I kind of do it at this point is that first campaign is fully automated. So like somebody signs up, automatically bang, they're dropped into that campaign, they go through the 7 emails, and that's like evergreen. That's always working. What I do is I'll pre-make all the other promo campaigns for like, you know, all my other products. They're already made, and I'll just be like, okay, it's Monday, I'm going to drop all these people into that campaign, and that's like the rest of my list. Everybody who's not in that initial campaign, they all get that promo. You don't have to do it like that. You could do it where literally, like, I'm a fan of like batch doing stuff. So I can like, for my Music Monday Club thing, I'll make 20 pieces of content and just drip them out so I don't have to think about it for, you know, a few months or whatever. But if you want to be like, if it's relevant to you to be relevant to current events of what's happening, then don't do that. Just like every Sunday night, write your email, queue it up to go out Monday morning, and away you go. And you can, a friend of mine actually doesn't bother like pre-building all these campaigns in Infusionsoft. He will just literally write all the emails out and manually send them out each day. Like he prefers that sort of control. I'm a bit more lazy, so I don't do that. But you know, you ultimately can still control every part of that if you want to.
Yeah, so your Music Monday that actually supplements the campaigns that you...
I mean, in a roundabout sense, like it's not always relevant to whatever campaign's going out that week. It's just like, hey, Music Monday, check out this Guns N' Roses lick or something. And it's cool. I could be selling like some sort of acoustic folk course or something that week, but it's just like, it doesn't have to relate. It's just whatever you feel like sending out, as long as it's useful. That's the main thing. Do you have a question? Or are you just stretching at the back there?
Well, I was raised to never ask how much money people make, but...
All right. Yeah, it's not something I'm really comfortable talking about, really, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's a good living. It's a good living, yeah. It's, you know, we can travel all the time and do pretty much what we want, really. So yeah.
Are you making enough to live in an expensive place if you wanted to?
Yeah. I just like living somewhere cheap so I can count my stacks of coins. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff. Anybody else? I think that's it. All good? All right, cool. Well, make sure you go and download all the stuff for today. Download the 7 emails, download the slides so you can go over everything again. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you.